Hello,
Okay, this is
sir.
Albert Clark.
Yes, sir. Please start the show.
I'm going to talk on the word transformation. Sounds
Okay.
like a big word, right? But it's not really.
Uh-huh.
It's how this is for everybody that's hasn't gotten toward the end of their life yet. You
Okay.
can transform your life. Take, for instance, the alcoholic that has started drinking when they were young and just can't quit drinking, and pretty soon they lose their job and they lose their friends and they sleeping in dempsey dumpsters and things like that. But something happens that gets them sober again, and all of a sudden they turn their entire life around. That's transformation.
Okay.
Uh, there are people that uh, are dead end jobs, but they go to a trade school and they develop a trade. So they learn how to do something. So again, instead of doing common labor, basically digging ditches, they learn how to build houses, or they learn how to repair air conditioners, or they learn how to repair appliances, or they learn plumbing. And all of those can be a very big career, and they can take a few more courses at the vocational school and learn how to do a business. So all of a sudden, instead of working as a plumber's helper, they become a full-time plumber, and then all of a sudden they start hiring new kids that are just
Yeah.
wanting to be plumbers, and they hire them to do all the work for them, and they sit back in the office and just do the business part of the company,
So
and maybe going out occasionally and helping one of the younger ones when he runs into a
just
particular
like you,
problem.
just like you serve in the United States Army. Back in the 80s, you created so many highly classified innovations for United States for almost for 50 years. The strategy you up ahead terms of global, diversification and transformation. So just like you wish the whole youngsters in the United States, even at global level, they should have a transformation like Sir Albert Clyde and Ford. So please elaborate more. What is the special message for the youngster?
And I personally know people that got into drugs and alcohol and
Mhm.
destroyed their lives and then turned them around. Where they were sleeping in a dumpster, now they own their own house.
Oh,
Uh, where they were buying junkers for $50 or $100 from the junkyard, they're
hmm
now buying brand new cars.
hey,
And their kids are going to college and they're putting them through college.
that's
Uh, but for the first 30 years of their life, they got nothing. They had
okay.
nothing.
Okay.
But they transformed their life because they basically
hmm
what happened to one guy is he just got put in jail, and
hmm
they left him in jail long enough that he sobered up.
Okay.
And then they told him they were going to go to prison if they
Eh,
caught him drinking again. So he
Okay.
just, he cleaned up his act and
Eh,
went to Alcoholics Anonymous, and he's written a couple of books now about
Oh, uh-huh.
recovering his life. So that's transformation.
That's
And
great.
he now goes to church regularly, and he's even uh, technically a minister,
Oh,
and he's performed some weddings, and he's substituted for the minister at church and
oh
things
my
like that.
God.
So total transformation. Uh,
That is 360 transformation.
yeah, and say I personally know some people like that, uh,
Okay.
and and uh, and of course they know more people, and there's one company here that's technically a construction company,
hmm
but most of the people they hire are alcoholics that got in legal trouble to the point they were about ready to go to prison, and this company hires them. Uh, they have a church service before they go to work.
Okay.
Then they go to work for the day. He pays them. He pays everybody quite well,
Okay.
and they have in the evenings after work. They sometimes have uh, Alcoholic Anonymous meetings just to make sure
Okay.
nobody gets hooked again. And
Okay. hmm
this company is, uh, uh, I say they're a construction company. Oklahoma is known for having tornadoes. They
Okay.
send out billions of dollars worth of equipment along with the labor to clean up those areas after a tornado.
Uh,
without getting paid for it.
oh.
Uh, the
Mm-hmm.
church in town was getting kind of dilapidated,
Mm-hmm.
so they built a new church with their profits. Paid out a couple of $1 million for a
Uh,
new. It's a small church, but they paid a couple of $1 million to build a new
ex
one.
exactly. Oklahoma is a pretty tremendous people, full of people like you, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
uh, uh, and uh, uh, the one guy that lost his driving license now drives a 32 wheel truck, one of the biggest trucks they make. And
Yes.
he hauls equipment that some of the equipment that he hauls is worth $4 million just on that one load.
Oh my God.
And he loads the equipment himself.
Uh-huh.
He drives it onto the truck. He ties it down, and the truck is so big that when he goes down the road, he has to have a car in front, behind, and another car beside him because he's wider than the lanes in the road.
Okay.
Uh, Going through Dallas, Texas, the police asked him to drive in the express lanes so he
Okay.
wouldn't hold up traffic with everybody staring at this huge truck. So,
This is, yeah.
express lanes supposed to be for carpool, right?
Yeah.
But he's the only person in the truck. But hey, the police asked him to drive there because otherwise, uh, they have to block off 3 lanes for him, and on the main road going through Dallas, you would really don't want that.
Exactly. So,
So he gets on the express lanes as he whips through Dallas.
that's amazing. So how do you connect yourself and what is the special message for the youngsters in between the age of 18 till 30s? So what is the special message you have for them for so they can prepare themselves for tomorrow and for the next upcoming 30 years? Any
Well,
special with your
uh,
combined experience? Yeah.
I'm not a teetotaler. I just don't drink. Uh,
Okay.
I used to I used to drink a few beers now and then or wine. I really love a good wine, but I just I have just basically quit because I've seen people destroy their lives just by a few drinks. And once they actually become an alcoholic, all it takes is one drink, and they're right back where they were, sleeping in a Dempsey dumpster.
Yeah. Yeah.
To give you an idea, I moved from Florida to Oklahoma 9 years ago,
Okay.
and I brought a 6 pack of beer that was in the refrigerator. I still got one can left.
Oh my God, 9 years back. Oh my God.
It might not even be safe to drink anymore.
But it is quite expensive right now. 9 years old wine.
Yeah, that is 9-year-old beer.
Yeah, beer. So it's quite expensive. I mean, you must have bought it with the price of $50, $100. Right now, it worth way more than $1,000. 9 years old.
And I've got a bar in my house, and
Ah.
it's stocked with vodka and whiskey and gin and all kinds of stuff, but a lot of it's never been
Do you
opened.
have it in nearby? Like, can you show it to our audience if it's possible for you or not?
Well, I'd have to go through a couple
Oh,
of
just
rooms.
leave
That's
it. Okay, just we will do that
kind
later
of
on.
hard to get
Yeah,
there.
yeah, no, no, please, please don't do that. So,
But
yes. Mhm.
uh, and I've also got one bottle that's kind of strange. It's
Uh-huh.
from the Fountain of Youth in St. Augustine, Florida,
Yeah. Okay.
and it's a wine bottle, but it's wine. It's water that came from the what
Uh-huh.
so-called Fountain of Youth in St. Augustine, Florida, as a
Okay.
souvenir.
Souvenir, yeah.
And it's sitting there among the various different bottles of alcohol.
Uh-huh.
And the alcohol is there. If I have guests over that really want a drink, I can serve them a drink, but I'm only going to serve one.
Okay.
Nobody's going to get drunk in my house. Uh,
Okay. Hmm. So
and it's not that I'm against it.
what you serve as a to your guests? Coke?
Oh, well, I've usually got, well, actually, the hard drinkers kind of have a tendency to drink it straight.
Okay.
But yeah, I've always got Coke and 7 Up and things like that around.
Okay.
So, Although most of my Coke is Diet Coke, and that doesn't taste as good.
Okay.
uh, I really love a good wine, but gee, I'm not going to spend $150 a bottle.
Okay.
So, and because sometimes we have alcoholics over, we're more likely to have a sparkling grape juice.
Oh,
It,
sparkling grape
it, co-
juice. Yeah.
it comes in a wine bottle,
Uh-huh.
but it's just grape juice with carbon dioxide in it to make it sparkle.
Sparkle. Yeah.
Yeah. So it might taste like champagne, but it's not.
Okay.
It, it's just sparkling grape juice, and uh,
Hmm.
and we serve it in wine glasses at the table, and uh, but the popular thing now is vaping.
Oh, yeah.
Well, vaping is more dangerous than smoking cigars or cigarettes. Uh,
That's called
you know,
instant lung damage device.
yeah, because in a very short period of time, sometimes only months, you end up with popcorn lungs, and
Yeah.
basically the areoles in your lungs, uh, uh,
Kills
oh,
bronches. Kills
yeah,
bronches. Yeah.
yeah, and all of a sudden you can't breathe. You're like an old man that can't get a breath anymore.
Exactly. So let's
Uh,
suppose if somebody gets asthma with the age of 50, so he'll get it instant. So it's a free asthma buying device, I must say.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, if you want asthma when you're 20,
Yeah.
start vaping.
Start raving. Yeah.
Uh, tobacco is bad for you. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong.
Uh-huh.
But you might smoke for 50 years before it does something bad to you. But vaping can happen within a few months.
Exactly.
That's scary,
Super
and
scary.
you don't know what's in the vape anyway,
Exactly.
because there's no regulation of that. So it may be deadly poison in that smoke.
So
Um,
it's not only deadly poison because it kills, it basically disrupts the blood flow. Let me tell you the oncology behind that or anatomy in that. It basically disrupts your blood cells, it spreads through your blood cells while your lungs reaches your heart, chokes your lungs, chokes your other, organs, damages deep down there, establishes, and then the worst of all, the pinnacle of worst I'm defining over here while vaping is it starts clotting in your body on different parts. So that leads to leukemia or blood cancer, skin cancer, a couple of cancer. It raises alarming. So yes, you're absolutely right. What is your take for the people, a special message for our global audience with the age? Because today our users are listening from mostly 18 till 30th. So how do, apart from their what do you call alcoholic culture, what else do you recommend or suggest them so they can improve their life and to have a better lifestyle and amazing
well,
lifestyle?
education is another thing. You don't have to go to college.
Sure.
But you do need to get through high school one way or another.
Yeah.
I hate to think how many people have dropped out of school
Hmm.
because, gee, they got a job stacking groceries at the grocery store, so they don't need any more education. Well, that's not what you want to do for your life.
Exactly.
If you don't have a high school graduation, you can forget ever having a good job or even knowing what's going on in the world. You won't be able to understand what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Now, do you need to go to college and get a PhD? No,
Uh,
but going to some kind of school after high school is very, very important. And the they for instance, the high school here in this state, at least, uh, when you're in your junior and senior year, they will pay for you going to a vocational school.
yeah.
So you can learn nursing, you can learn ultrasound technology to work in the medical field doing ultrasounds.
Sure. Yeah.
They got X-ray technology, so you can learn to take
Radiology. There are the
X-rays.
couple of things. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've got all kinds of classes like that. They've got rebuilding cars, car
Hmm.
body shop.
Sure.
They've got computer technology. They've got just all kinds of classes out there that
Yeah.
you can take. that will count for high school credits,
Hmm.
and the high school pays for it. And they actually use the school buses to take the kids out to the vocational school and bring them back to the regular school
So the
after the
last
class.
segment of the show is that we have a very exciting news to share with you guys, to our audience. Universal Studios, we are currently working. We are in conversation. So Albert learned few of their books. Might be you see the new versions, new genres as fitting. So yes, sir. So what the world is expecting from you, apart from this sci-fi thrilling and the romance genre, which you have already catered fantastically, and it has now a global audience capturing all the audience. Now, what are your plans in terms of Universal Pictures for the horror version and for the super high octane action version?
Well, Ancient Destiny's got a lot of action to it.
Okay.
Uh, the love story doesn't have a whole lot of action, but it has some very interesting things that happened because it was a love story filled with miracles.
So
And a
how
lot of
many
my,
how many books we are getting expecting a new genre, like two books from Universal Studios?
I don't know.
We are already in
I,
communication with them. So tell our audience that Tim Lawrence has been giving you every time I am teasing you 24 hours to like a pain in the ass that, hey, sir, we need to do this. Yes.
well, when I decide to write a book, it just flows.
Okay.
I come up with an idea, I think about it for weeks or months, but then when
Yeah.
I sit down to type, it just it's like watching a movie and I'm trying to document what I'm watching on my in my brain. And
Uh,
uh, some Ancient Destiny series, I put out three novels in 6 weeks.
okay.
Uh,
Oh, amazing.
Actually got them into print in 6 weeks
Mm-hmm.
from the time I started typing the first novel. Uh, And then I wrote the fourth book in that series 5 years later because my readers said, wait a minute, you gave me hints about something else in the first three novels, but you
Yeah.
didn't write the fourth novel. So I wrote
Exactly.
the fourth novel
Yeah.
just to be able to answer the
So
questions. So
how
they,
many audience you got at the first place in when you start writing, what do you call, with the span of 2 years? How many books were sold? Tell our audience. So it's just for the new, it motivates new writers, authors as well in the market. Yes.
uh, not very many until I started promoting them. Uh,
Okay.
I did one book signing, and that's because I was the president of a very large amateur radio
Okay.
club, and they asked me to bring my books to a meeting and sign autographs. So I did an autograph signing and I sold my books at my cost. So I didn't make any money on it, but uh, and then those people had a tendency to be older, and they read the books and gave them to their kids and told them to read the book, and then those parents gave them to their kids and told them to read the books. So I didn't sell very many, but there was a lot of people reading them.
That's
And then those
amazing,
people
sir.
probably gave them away to friends with recommendations to read the book.
So
So
right now, our time is short, and we need to end this podcast over here. And we will be connecting with you guys day after tomorrow, right? With the new podcast, and sir is going to come up with a new edition. So please, our audience, please keep supporting him. Please keep buying his book. Please keep reading his story. And yes, in upcoming days, you will be hearing a book project on which we are collaborating. And Sir Albert Clark is right now brainstorming his ideas for the horror version and horror genre, and for the action version with the Universal Pictures. We're expecting to be lined up. Right now, it has not been confirmed, but we are in communication. So stick to it and pray for Sir Albert Clark good health and for the prosperity. Any special message before we sign off, sir?
yes, transform your life. Uh, if things are not perfect, if you don't think you're going in the direction you want to go for your life when you're old, then transform your life right now by getting education. Stop doing bad things. Start doing good things. If you're not going to be proud of it when you're 80 years old, don't do it.
Oh, that's
So
amazing. So thank you for your time, and we will be